Greetings, R. Frederick Riddle here with another episode of Christian News and Views. And we lost my thing. Okay, we are in episode 157 today, and this is Tuesday. And so I have here a article. It says Ukraine hits Russia in surprise drone attack. Now, this is actually took place in early May, but it's current news. It's on the internet, the newspaper, everywhere. And there's a reason for that. And so we're going to take a look at this a little bit. I'll try to slim down how much I actually report. It's a fairly decent article, both in the paper and in the news that I took from the internet. So let's get started. The rare A-50 aircraft is an expensive and scarce asset for Russia, previously and successfully targeted by Ukraine. Now, Moscow has 7 operational A-50 aircraft, according to the International Institute for Strategic Studies. And so that's what they could do. They are actually the Russian version of our radar planes. They go up, they can monitor, they can. It's like an early warning system. They can control aircraft. They can spot or seek out Ukrainian air defenses and coordinate attacks with fighter jets and bombers. So it's a very important piece of equipment. I believe it's in the billions of dollars that they cost. So when you lose one, and apparently Russia lost one, or at least has had one damaged, which if it's damaged, it takes it out of the war, at least for a part-time. So I'm going to read some of the things here. Oh, by the way, this operation was called Spiderweb. That was the code name. It involved more than 18 months of painstaking planning and great risk. It was personally overseen by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. So this attack that took place accordingly, and this was, it says on Sunday, is what it said in the internet. Somewhere along here, I got the idea it was in May, actually, that it took place, May 3rd, rather, but today is the 3rd of June, so I'm not exactly sure if they got their information right or wrong. Just reporting what they're saying. So here they're saying Sunday, which would have been this last Sunday. I read somewhere else in this article, I'm not sure where it was, I don't see it right now, that it may have been May 3rd rather than June 1st. So Sunday was June 1st. So either way, it's recent, and either way, it is what I would call a game changer. So in the article on the internet, it says here, again, I'm quoting, Ukraine on Sunday launched simultaneous drone strikes on several major Russian air bases, including thousands of miles away in Siberia, in a meticulously planned attack that left analysts stunned and Kiev triumphant. The head of Ukraine's SBU security service, Lieutenant General Vasyl Melyak, said on Monday that Kiev hit 41 aircraft, including what they call a Tu-95 and a Tu-22. These are strategic bombers. Russia has used extensively to fire long-range missiles at Ukraine. They also struck an A-50 spy plane. Now here they called it a spy plane, and others call it a radar plane. Here it says A-50s are used to coordinate targets and detect air defenses and guided missiles. So different people will call it different things. In any case, it's a very important asset to the Russian Air Force. To lose even one is devastating. So it said on Monday, the Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council said on Monday, at least 13 Russian aircraft were destroyed. At least 7 Tu-95s and 4 Tu-22 aircraft were damaged or destroyed, one unnamed senior Western official told Bloomberg. So in the one area, I'm getting information from Bloomberg. The other one is the Associated Press. Take your pick, which is more accurate. They're pretty close to one another, though. Satellite imagery widely circulating online on Tuesday purports to show a damaged, blackened A-50 on the tarmac at the Ivanovo Air Base, northeast of the Russian capital, Moscow. Now, I actually saw the pictures on the of the planes. They're big. They look just like looking down at the bottom at the tops of the planes, and they looked a lot like the ones that are owned. With a big round top on there for the radar, so they can do 360. And so it says here in the that by the end, over 40 Russian warplanes were severely damaged or destroyed, with costs estimated to be around $9 billion. And the most striking here is the one that took place in a place called Belaya Air Base in the Siberian region of Irkutsk, over 2,500 miles away from Ukraine. This is amazing. The whole operation is amazing. They didn't fly in these drones across the border. They smuggled them in and got them in. And according to the article I read, they had them in boxes, and then they simultaneously remotely opened these boxes and fired these drones, and they went to the different targets, 41 different, I think it was 41 different targets. And so that is an amazing attack, an amazing a change, really, in strategy. It was certainly not something Russia anticipated. Russia's defense ministry said Ukraine had used first-person view, which is what these drones are called, or FPV, to target military airfields in 5 regions: Amur, Irkutsk, Ivanovo, Murmansk, and Ryazan. Open source analysis has suggested one A-50 spy plane was damaged or destroyed at Ivanovo Air Base, as well as 4 Tu-95 and 3 22 M3 bombers at the Belaya Air Base. So the U.S.-based Institute for the Study of War think tank said on Monday. Well, that's what they were the ones that were saying that. A picture published by satellite imagery giant Maxar showed an A-50 aircraft at the Ivanova base on May 3rd. Oh, that's where I got the May 3rd. It's when the aircraft was taken. The picture was taken. And so this apparently happened this past weekend. The picture that I saw showed the planes, and they did not look like they had been damaged or armored, but they would have tires and other things placed on their wings. Somehow this was supposed to deter drone attacks. Don't think it worked. But anyhow, it showed at least one of the planes had those tires on them. And strategically plane, it must mess up the. I can see where the rubber might mix up the radar, so that they being able to locate or accurately locate the planes. Russia's known to, oh, here they are. Russia's known to have placed tires on the wings of its aircraft throughout the war, trying to fend off Ukrainian drone attacks. Aircraft standing on their runway have always been vulnerable, said one strategic analysis. High-value targets like costly aircraft and the airfields used as home bases will have to upgrade all types of defenses to shield against the threat drones can now pose. Another thing here, satellite imagery from Belaya, taken by Maxar on May 20th, showed outlines of aircraft painted onto the tarmac alongside Tu-160 bombers and a decoy version of a Tu-22 at the base. So they can't say that they didn't really anticipate that be an attack. I think what they couldn't anticipate was so massive that all these different 5 different bases all attacked at the same time, and at such a long range. So Ukraine in early 2024, it had taken out, said that it had taken out two Russian A-50s in quick succession. Now they've taken out a third. So they're down to what should be, I am, from my math is correct, they should be down to six. That's still a lot, and they still accomplish a lot, but it does hamper them a little bit. So Vladimir Zelensky said this: planning, organization, every detail was perfectly executed. It can be said with confidence that this was an absolutely unique operation. So this may or may not impact the negotiations going on. But I will say this: I am not really surprised at Ukraine's ability to stun Russia in the world. This is far-ranging, or let me state this: this far-ranging and multiple targeted attack shows Ukraine's determination and imagination. This undoubtedly will have an impact on the war. How much of an impact and how soon remains to be seen. But one amusing thought that occurs to me, I can picture in my mind Putin, red-faced, pounding his shoe on the desk. Those of you who are older might remember a man by the name of Premier Khrushchev of the Soviet Union, and he used that method one time to indicate his anger and frustration. I can picture Putin doing that. Once again, his plans have gone up in smoke. So that's it for today. I want to encourage you to subscribe right about there. And if you haven't done that, I encourage you to do so. When you do, you encourage me, and I will do everything in my power to always inform you what's going on, to encourage you, to inspire you. And you can add another thing on there too. Not only do I try to do that, but I try to bring to you a conservative and a Christian viewpoint. And in this case, it is, as a Christian, we are opposed to this attack on a country that essentially was considered weak, vulnerable, had no chance of succeeding, and yet they've taken a war that should have been over within days, and it's now into its fourth year. Ingenuity, determination, a lot of things. There's a lot of Christians there who are involved and are being attacked by Russia. Russia doesn't care. Christians, Jews, whatever they happen to be in Ukraine, they don't care. They'll kill them, and they don't care their age, whether they're babies or older. It's a terrible war that it needs to be brought to an end, and I hope that President Trump is able to do that. And so I'm not one bit surprised that Ukraine was able to pull something like this off. I just wish Russia would get the message and decide to get rid of Putin, for one thing. Well, that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.